Me to tell you who I am and where I
Yes,
work?
that would be wonderful.
Okay. My name is Barbara Reardon, and I'm Director of Operations for the Ann Douglas Center of the Los Angeles Mission. We're a Christian rehabilitation organization in Skid Row, Los Angeles.
Okay. Now, I understand the Ann Douglas Center is just for women. Is that women with addictions or just homeless women living on the streets? What exactly do you do here?
We are not a shelter. We are a rehabilitation organization as far as the program is concerned. Actually, the Los Angeles Mission does 2 levels of services. The first level is food and clothing for the homeless community that just comes and goes day by day. We serve 3 meals in our big, this is the women's part. You have come into the women's part of the whole mission. We have a little wing, and the other building is the men's part, as well as the administrative offices. So we employ about 120 people right now, and we serve many, many hundreds of people a day. And how we do that is they can come in and eat meals. We have meals available, breakfast, lunch, and dinner available for the community. When I say community guests, it means the homeless community. We don't call them the homeless people because we believe in the dignity and the integrity of each individual. They're our community guests, so we refer to them as our community guests. So they can take showers, they can come in for food, we feed them in the big cafeteria. They also need to hear, we offer a service to the Lord, listen to the Word of God because we're Christian. And so we believe, we're Bible-based, we believe that we have a spiritual aspect to our life. And so they need the Word of God to give them guidance in their lives, as well as food, actual food. And so they can come for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The women can come on our side 4 days out of the week and have showers. They line up in our lobby, and they can go downstairs to our shower area and have a shower and get clean clothing 4 days out of the week. On the 5th day, we have mothers and with their children under 12 that can come and they can have their kids take showers and they can get clothing for their children. On the men's side, the men can come in on a daily basis, 5 days a week, and they can get showers and they can get a bed ticket. We happen to have on the men's side, we do not have on the women's side, we have a shelter. Shelter means you can come in and sleep. You come in at night, you have dinner, you take a shower, you go to bed, you get up in the morning, you have breakfast, and then you leave the place, but then you can come back. And so our shelter currently, the men can stay up to 30 days. We do not have a shelter for women. It's because when this building was built back in the 1980s, there were very few women on Skid Row. So when they built the building, they built the women's facility relatively small. So we do not have a shelter for women. We have a 27-bed facility for rehabilitation purposes. The men's side has about 150 beds for rehabilitation and another 100 or so for a shelter. So just to show you, so the 2 levels I was explaining, the emergency services are the come in day and just come in and go, come in and go. Emergency services are considered food, clothing, and shelter. They do not have to change their lives. If they have a drug or alcohol addiction problem, they do not have to tell us about that. They do not have to change their lives.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. We give them the services, that whatever we can give them. But the second level of service that we give here is the rehabilitation program. And there's a parallel program on the men's side and the women's side. And then they're interviewed, and if they have a drug or alcohol problem or severe relationship dysfunction, anything that would, cover that area that they are rehabilitatable from, we can take them into the program. Now, what I mean rehabilitatable is if they have serious mental concerns, we're not set up for that. We would have to refer them to another program. If they have serious physical concerns, if they came in, if they were paraplegic or something, we couldn't do that. If they had a drug problem in addition to that, and they were in a wheelchair, we can't do that. We're not set up to do that. So we would have to refer them to another medical facility. So we are for people who are rehabilitatable, that they can be able to do the program. The program is ideally a 2-year program, 1 year on site, and then we have another year off-site. We have a women's transitional facility in another part of the city and a men's transitional facility in another part of the city. So ideally, they would come in and spend a year with us or a year on the men's side and then go the second year in the transitional facility. And with each part of that, they're clean and sober now for 1 year, for 2 years, and they're more and more able. They've been healed, they've had counseling, they have a new direction in their life, they're clearer on, have received a lot of healing from what happened before, and they become more and more able to function and take care of their lives and go back to being healthy members of society.
Now, how many people have, I know you've seen a lot of people come in here, and obviously there have been, successes and failures. You see people come in from all these different walks of life. What is your success rate? What, stories have you seen of people who've really changed their life and have rose above these circumstances?
Okay, well, our success rate at the Los Angeles Mission is amazing. It's, I think, between 65 and 70% right now. And how we find that out from both the men's side and the women's side, how we track that is we try to get hold of them within a year or two after they have left the program. And we document, are they still, 3 areas, are they still clean and sober? Are they a bona fide member of a church known by their pastor and going to that church every week? And do they have a job? Do they have a bona fide job, and are they paying the rent and taking care of themselves? So if there's yes in all of those 3 areas, then we consider that is a success. And so we have a very high rate.
That's wonderful. I know that Los Angeles, I'm not sure if I remember the exact number, but I think it's maybe 17,000, is that right? Homeless community in Los Angeles?
It's higher than that. It's quite high.
It's quite high. I know it's the highest in the country, and the biggest concentration is here on Skid Row. And you've seen a lot of these people, and I'm sure you've talked to many of them. What do you think is the main cause of homelessness? Is it, the addictions? Is it mental illness? There's so many different stories and different, laid off, the economy, things that have brought these people to this place. What do you think is the main thing that you have come across?
We can't identify a main thing. It is a multifaceted thing. Right now there are economic problems. We had a woman who was a journalist, very unusual, and she lost her job. No, don't feel bad. But she had a very good middle income, and she came to us for help. She didn't come into the program, but she came to us that could she use her computer, could she just come here and work and help us. That was very unusual. But for the most part, the clientele that we get have drug or alcohol problems. In the community, and you're seeing, in this area, you will see a lot of missions and places where they can come and join rehab programs or get services on an in-and-out kind of basis. We have veterans that are down here. We have mentally ill people, because years ago the mental institutions were closed, so we have mentally ill people. We have people who have lost their jobs. We have people that are transients from other states. A lot of people, they can't, if they're poor, they can't bear the winters, and they die in those colder climates. So that's one of the reasons why Los Angeles is such a haven for people. Right. It can be the economy, it can be broken families, and then sometimes those things can lead to the drug and alcohol addiction because they become socially lost. They become disconnected from their creator. We're Christians, so we believe there's a profound connection with their creator. If they break that off, they break off relationships with their families, something bad happens, they don't know how to handle it, or they lose their job, they don't know how to handle it. They get involved with drugs or alcohol or groups of people that are bad influences on them, and things can happen. Next thing you know, they lose their lives. So what you see around here, you may see people sleeping in the street, but there are literal communities. There's a community over there on the other side of the bridge where there's this city of homeless people that live with tents. Now, also, interestingly enough, sometimes after a number of years, people will get used to that lifestyle. And if they're doing drugs, then their minds are significantly unclear. And then if you say, do you want to change? They'll say no, because they're afraid. They've kind of gotten used to that lifestyle. So, and as I said, sometimes that's mixed up with drugs where they have absolutely no clear thought with regard to the correct procedure to take care of themselves in order to heal.